Welcome to the Sports Combo 2020 NFL Draft Preview. We're going to get right into the prospects and right into the most important position in all of sports, the quarterback position. We're going to start with Joe Burrow. Now, right here is why we want to let all fans of teams who are going to draft quarterbacks and teams know that we're not as high on this year's draft quarterback class as the other sports sites. It's mostly buyer beware from our perspective. And Joe is a good example. He had a great 2019. He's mobile. He's very accurate passing. He's a cocky, confident quarterback, great character, does great things for his hometown. But he's had 1 year of good production. He doesn't have elite arm strength. He's not very fast. We just don't think those traits are going to transfer to the NFL. Cincinnati's probably going to have a project on their hands. LSU could have beat Cincinnati last year. So Joe Burrow is going to have a big wake-up call, not having his offensive coach and coordinator Joe Brady with him again and having to adjust to the Bungles. It's going to be tough, Joe. Unfortunately, he's going to be just a regular, plain old Joe in the NFL. We're going to move on to another quarterback that's been getting a lot of hype, Tua Tagovailoa. Now, I might be pronouncing that wrong, but he's not going to watch this anyway. If he does, Tua, you're always welcome to come on, and we apologize for any mispronunciation. But Tua, again, great character, strong faith, strong leader, tough guy. Very accurate as a passer. He's mobile, but he doesn't have a strong arm. He's not fast. Even though he's mobile, he's not a fast quarterback with his legs. He also had Jerry Jeudy and Henry Ruggs to throw to in Alabama. So was it the system or was it Tua? I'm gonna go with the system a little bit more with him. When you watch him play, it's tough to see that arm strength that he has transfer over to the league. The other main issue with him is the injuries. He's piled up a lot of injuries in college. Now, they only say that, look, those injuries are just going to get worse in the NFL. So he's going to have a tough time. One of the biggest sayings coaches have is the most important ability to have is availability. And he's going to struggle with that in the league. Any team that drafts him is going to have a solid backup. And it's a lot to commit to one position. So we're a little leery about Tua as well. One of the upside quarterbacks that we're going to talk about is Justin Herbert. This guy, when you look at him, he's the prototypical quarterback. He passes the eye test. He's 6'6", strong arm, can run, good speed, and played for a top program. The problem with Justin Herbert, he's a small kid from Oregon. How is he going to be when he goes to a bigger city, more limelight? Supposedly he has other passions beside football. You never know if that's going to affect him, if he struggles in the league, if he's going to want to switch and get out of the league early after his initial contract. The other main issue I have with him is he's very stiff in the pocket. His mechanics are kind of clunky. So when you watch him, that's going to have to get ironed out. He's going to take time to adjust in the league. It's a 1 to 2 year project. There may be upside because, like I said, that clay can be molded into a star, but it's going to take time. A little leery on his prospects in becoming a star, but he might become a solid quarterback in the league. The guy I love, wordplay, is Jordan Love from Utah State. This kid has it all. He's been compared to Patrick Mahomes. They play the same brand of football. If you watch his tape at Utah State, it's basically he's playing backyard football. The kid could throw on the run, strong arm, can throw anywhere on the field, can throw off his back foot. He was a baseball pitcher growing up, so just like Mahomes, he can throw from any angle. He's kind of the new type of player the league is looking for at the quarterback position. He has speed, he has height, he's great build, he's durable. He can be a star in this league. I think out of all the quarterbacks, I would probably target Jordan Love as the project I would take on for my franchise. The only issue with him was 2019, he threw a lot of picks, had a lot of interceptions, and the tape looked bad because of the bad decisions that he made. But you have to consider 2018, he had a great year. He would have been a top 10 pick if he came out after that year. 9 starters were lost on offense for him. So he lost a lot of weapons, a lot of linemen, a lot of receivers. He was gonna regress at some point. So he did last year, but the upside is there. Scouts have said, and they're split on him, but some scouts have said in a couple of years, if you let this guy grow in the right environment, he could become a star. So you never know. Maybe he'll meet the Patrick Mahomes comparisons. That's the guy I would bank on in this draft. That's the guy I would move to the top of my list this year. A couple other quarterbacks, just wanted to go over. Jalen Hurts, great guy, great character, son of a coach, works hard, great team leader, brought 2 different programs to the national championship with Alabama and Oklahoma. The problem with him is he's not a pure passer yet. He's a running quarterback. He's going to have to progress in the league. Right now, it's first read, second read, and then he runs. That's not going to fly in the NFL because he doesn't have the speed as a Lamar Jackson. So he's going to have to work on that. But he's a guy that is great to have on your team. He's a rah guy. I would say Tim Tebow-esque guy that riles everyone up and a good guy to have and that other teammates may run through a brick wall for. Jalen Hurts, maybe you'll use him in a Taysom Hill type of role early, but that's where he is right now. I'm not too high on his long-term prospects, but he's a solid player, could be a good backup in the league. Another guy that I was looking forward to evaluating, Jacob Eason, son of Tony Eason, former QB in the NFL. This kid might have the strongest arm in the draft. The problem with him is, even though he's a strong arm, he lost his job at Georgia to Jake Fromm. He then went to Washington State, played his first full year last year. Even though he has a great arm, he's not accurate, makes bad decisions, is stiff in the pocket. When there's pressure, he shrinks. All attributes that are tough to get translated. Now, he does have the big arm. So people like Bruce Arians may, gravitate to that and think they can mold him into an NFL quarterback, but he's not the kind of passer the NFL is looking for nowadays. So Jacob Eason, he also mentally, I feel like he has that Jeff George, Ryan Leaf kind of mentality where he's not going to give it his all. He's going to just rely on his fastball, his strong arm. So I think he's going to be tough. I would steer clear of Jacob Eason. Jake Fromm is another quarterback that's getting a lot of buzz. Everything you read about him and everything you see on him, he's a strong leader. The coaches love him, makes good decisions, very smart with the ball. But in my opinion, he's more of a game manager. He's what they call a clipboard quarterback. So, you want him on the bench. He's going to be a great guy to run the scout team, run practice plays and that kind of thing. His ceiling is probably Brian Hoyer's greatest year, best season. So I would steer clear of Jake Fromm unless you're looking for a backup, maybe later in the draft, 4th or 5th round. Now he's getting buzz that he might go in the 1st round. Any coach or GM that drafts Jake Fromm in the 1st round should be fired on the spot. I know Bill O'Brien and the Texans don't have a pick in the 1st round, but I feel like they would be the ones that would trade in and get him as a backup, just causing more pain to Houston. But I'd rather have, instead of Jake Fromm, I'd rather have Jake from State Farm as my quarterback. Maybe more mobility, more arm strength than Jake Fromm has. He's lacking in both. My sleeper quarterback is James Morgan from FIU. Love this guy. If you don't get Jacob Eason and all the warts that he has, you can get James Morgan in the 4th or 5th round, maybe early 4th. He's meeting with a lot of teams, 14 in fact, including the Patriots and the Colts. This is a kid where strong arm, grew up in Wisconsin, idolized Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. He's a gunslinger. He has that Brett Favre mentality. He grinds, he works. At the East-West Shrine Bowl, he had a great showing. In fact, he worked with receivers after games to work on routes and things like that at practice so they can, perform well during the game, which he did. He had a great game. I believe he threw 2 touchdowns, but this is a guy who's tough, played through a knee injury last year. Like I said, him and Jacob Eason probably have the strongest arms in the draft. But that's the guy that if my teams miss out on the top quarterbacks, that's a guy to fall back on later in the draft. And he might be better than a lot of the other quarterbacks, but this is a guy that can be a top echelon quarterback, or worst case, in my opinion, a high-end backup. All right, another quarterback that I want to throw out there. I don't know if he'll be a star in the league, but he's getting some buzz. Anthony Gordon from Washington State. When you watch him play, he's a mirror image of Patrick Mahomes, his play style at least. Doesn't have the arm as Patrick Mahomes, but he did play with Mike Leach in an air raid system at Washington State. He put up ridiculous numbers, took over for Gardner Minshew, and was a beast as far as production is concerned. Now, he's 6'2", 205. He's very skinny. He's going to have to put on a lot of weight. But the positives are, like Patrick Mahomes, he was a pitcher, so he can throw from any arm angle. He gets the ball out very quickly. He has good touch on his passes, and he is a good rusher as well. So there are tools that can be molded. What I think he's probably going to end up being a backup right now to start. If he fills in more weight, maybe you have some upside there. It's debatable how good his arm strength is. Some people say it's closer to elite. I don't know about that. I think it's good to elite in that range. But it's hard to tell with that air raid system. You're getting the ball out very quickly. But he does throw a good deep ball, does have accuracy. It's a guy to watch for in the NFL draft as a late round pick.